Have you ever noticed that some of the most intelligent people don't quite fit in? They don't follow normal schedules. They avoid small talk. They enjoy being alone. They seem lost in their own world and are often labeled as weird, difficult, distant, or overly complicated. But psychology reveals something most people don't want to accept. Not every unusual behavior is a flaw. Sometimes, it's simply a mind operating on a different frequency. In this video, you'll discover why highly intelligent people often develop habits that appear strange, why society misinterprets them, and which subtle signs of intelligence are usually overlooked. And as you listen, you might realize something important. 1. Silence is not emptiness, it's fuel. For many people, silence feels uncomfortable. They need noise, constant conversation, and external stimulation to feel alive. But brilliant minds work in the opposite direction. For them, silence is not emptiness, it's mental space. When they are alone, the brain goes deeper. Ideas connect. Complex thoughts organize themselves. Problems are explored from every possible angle. It's like an internal laboratory that only functions when the doors are closed. That's why solitude isn't about rejecting people. It's about protecting cognitive energy. Small talk drains them. Thinking energizes them. 2. Unusual sleep patterns are not laziness. Another habit often judged harshly is an irregular sleep schedule. Sleeping late. Waking up at unconventional hours, feeling most creative when the world is quiet. Psychology shows that many highly active minds perform best when external pressure disappears. At night, there are fewer interruptions, less social expectation, more mental freedom. This isn't poor discipline, it's biology. Their minds struggle to shut down because ideas keep forming, analyzing, revising long after the body is tired. A brain that never stops asking questions doesn't follow a standard clock. 3. Talking to yourself is a sign of mental organization. Talking to yourself often makes people uncomfortable, especially when they don't understand it. But internally, this habit serves a powerful purpose. Highly intelligent individuals use self-talk to structure thoughts, rehearse decisions, simulate outcomes, and clarify complex reasoning. By turning thoughts into words, the mind gains precision. This behavior is common in childhood. In adulthood, it remains strongest in people with advanced abstract thinking and strategic awareness. It's not confusion. It's real-time cognitive processing. 4. Questioning everything comes at a social cost. Brilliant minds rarely accept rules simply because that's how it's always been. They question traditions. They challenge popular beliefs. They look for logic where others look for comfort. This makes them inconvenient. People who question expose contradictions, and not everyone is ready to see them. But this discomfort is exactly what creates innovation, creativity, and intellectual growth. An intelligent mind doesn't seek approval. It seeks coherence. 5. Thinking deeply about life is not weakness. Perhaps the quietest sign of high intelligence is existential depth. Thinking about meaning, time, purpose, mortality, choices, and their long-term consequences. This level of awareness can bring restlessness, anxiety, or a sense of not fully belonging. Not because something is wrong, but because the mind refuses to live on autopilot. Psychology calls this hyper-awareness. While some people live automatically, others live consciously. And although it can feel heavy, this depth is what allows true self-knowledge and emotional growth. But there is something even more important to understand. Highly developed minds often grow up feeling out of sync with their surroundings, not because they lack social skills, but because their internal pace doesn't match the external world. While most environments reward speed, conformity, and instant reactions, reflective minds operate with depth, pause, and internal dialogue. This mismatch can create years of silent self-doubt. Many intelligent individuals spend a large part of their lives trying to correct themselves, forcing habits that don't fit, suppressing natural tendencies, imitating behaviors that feel unnatural, simply to be accepted. Over time, this can lead to emotional exhaustion, loss of authenticity, and a sense of living someone else's life. Psychology shows that the real challenge for these minds is not intelligence itself, but adaptation without self-erasure. Learning when to engage and when to withdraw. Knowing which environments nourish the mind and which slowly drain it. Understanding that fitting everywhere is not a requirement for a meaningful life. As maturity develops, many of these individuals reach a turning point. They stop trying to become normal and start becoming aligned. Aligned with their values. Aligned with their natural rhythms. Aligned with the way their mind actually works. This is when intelligence becomes wisdom. Instead of overthinking every difference, they begin to see it as information. Instead of fighting their nature, they design a life that respects it. Psychological well-being, in this sense, is not about changing who you are. It's about creating conditions where who you are can function without constant friction. This is why many highly intelligent people flourish later in life. Not because they suddenly became smarter, but because they finally stopped living in resistance to themselves. They learn that depth doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. That presence doesn't require constant visibility. And that meaning is often built quietly, far from the noise. If there is one message to take from this, it's this. You don't need to shrink your mind to fit a smaller world. You need a world, or at least a corner of it, that can hold the way you think. And once you find or create that space, what once felt like a burden often becomes your greatest strength. Because the same mind that struggles in shallow environments is the one capable of insight, creativity, and understanding far beyond the surface. And that is not something to fix. It's something to honor. If this video made you feel understood, you're not alone here. This channel exists for people who think deeply, feel intensely, and question what most never stop to examine. So if you're tired of shallow answers, quick labels, and surface-level explanations, and you're ready to explore the human mind with clarity, depth, and honesty, subscribe to the channel. New videos every week, designed not just to inform you, but to help you understand yourself better. And remember, thinking differently isn't a flaw. It's a perspective the world desperately needs.